Yes, if this motion goes through today and it goes through all Ireland taxis, the only people on the Isle of Man are going to be affected are the Douglas and District taxi owners and drivers. I think what they're doing today is totally unfair.
But there's been a 10-year sort of consultation about this. People know now that they're not going to get these massive amount of money to transfer the licenses, the grandfather rights.
What they're doing today won't actually take that away. All it will do is devalue the price of the Douglas plates and actually increase the price of all the other plates. This has gone on for 10 years, but minister after minister has said that the Transport Act needs revisiting, and yet nobody's revisited. Nobody's done anything about it. I asked for a select committee 3 years ago to totally look into the whole organisation with regard to taxis and private hires, minibus, and they didn't even stand up and say one thing in Tynwald. They just voted against it. There was no argument put forward why we shouldn't have that. That should have been done 3 years ago. This would have been done and dusted by now.
But you agree that the market forces should just be allowed to take their place here now and let the amount of taxis be dictated by the supply and demand of the Isle of Man?
But it already does, because the biggest majority of all taxis and private hires are on radio. So what's the benefit of going all Ireland? It will benefit, as I said, all the out-of-town taxis, but it will not benefit those taxis, like the taxi driver who just sold his plate. He's had it for 20, 30 years. It was his retirement pot. That should have been worth about £40,000. It's not. He's only got 20,000. And if this goes through today, he'll only get about 10,000 because the Douglas taxi plates will drop in value and the out-of-town value will go up.
But this is restrictive practices, isn't it?
I wouldn't say it is. I think people's livelihoods you're talking about here. You have to restrict something. It's going to affect families who taxi drivers are working for less than £4 an hour, less than the minimum wage. I think it's disgusting, and that's what this government's managed to do over the last 5 years.
Are you convinced that it's going to draw taxi drivers from other areas into the honeypot of Douglas on a Saturday night if this all goes through?
Of course it will. We already know that the private hires are sitting at the sea terminal up at the grandstand on a Friday and Saturday night with radios in the car, picking up trades from all over the place. So if you make it all Ireland, what are they going to do next? I mean, the last harebrained idea, they're going to make every private hire into a Section 29 taxi. That would kill the trade.
How much support have you got?
I think we certainly have a lot of support from within Douglas and District.
How much in Tynwald?
Well, only today will prove that. I'm going to rally up even those ministers who represent the people of Douglas and Onken. It's time for them to stand up and be counted and represent the people who put them there in the first place.